You're lucky no.
Feel good about it. You know, back when they used to negotiate on sales.
Yeah, I got the greatest deal. Okay, but our dealer belongs to Country Fund. Has a big house, goes on vacation, and they're making monthly payments, so. Yeah. First, we all fall into that trap. Part of learning.
Yeah. His car.
Nope. You say you have?
Never. Even my dad, yeah.
You don't plan to?
It's not the way he, you know.
Mhm.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Okay.
Good. We're in study now, so do you want to go ahead and coming up on your motor vehicle bill update?
Yes.
The podium, please.
First.
So, you know, the Treasurers Association has been trying to work on a bill to help fund the motor vehicle for 7 or 8 years. So finally we got some ground this year.
Wow.
So starting July 1st, that we had a facility fee, which I added to $250 at the beginning of the year. That has went well. So now they're going to July 1st, there will no longer be facility fees. It will go into the service fee, the county service fee. So treasurers can make the decision of going anywhere up to $5. If our budget's needed for motor vehicle to go from 6 to 10, then we have to have approval by the commissioners. So my problem in my office is our motor vehicle is like $39,000 on the whole. So I am trying to get that out of the hole. And then we need to also work on all the expenses out of motor vehicle. It needs to be paid out of the motor vehicle budget. In the last number of years, those supplies, all of those expenses have been taken out of my treasurer's budget. So what that does is the expense for that office is we're paying for that as homeowners or landowners or business owners to make that office run. That's how it should be. It should be the fees that we receive should pay for those expenses. So my thought was that I'm going to go up to $5 beginning July 1st. That way we can get out of the red and then work with Marcus on my budget for the next year to see what we need for motor vehicle when we take out all the expenses plus employees. Because right now, motor vehicle only pays for 3 employees. And I would say we probably do 60% of our work easily is motor vehicle. So probably need to work in another employee to be paid out of that motor vehicle instead of out of the treasury. So, because I've always thought, how fair is this for landowner, business owners, even a person with a home, to pay for those services when it really should be put on a person that's registering their vehicle. You have a lot of people that don't own property, but they may have 4 or 6 vehicles depending. So the land taxpayers are paying for them, and they don't pay property tax. They are not paying, what it needs to be for motor vehicle. So, and then with this bill that's going through, it's a 3-year time limit on this, and then they're going to revisit it to see how every county is working with that. The main thing is to help with our taxes, to be able to not be having our taxpayers subsidize that office. So
Currently, the fee is $6. Is that right? Or did I hear that wrong?
Currently, we are doing a facility fee for 250.
Okay, so that's what, okay.
Yeah. And so then it will be within all the programs at the state. It will be on the online. It will be the mail-in receipt. So everybody that gets it, it will be on there. So it will be taken care of. So, but we've been in the red in that fund for a number of years. So we used to, I didn't check back to see how many years ago it was. We used to move money from county general, transfer it over so that it wouldn't be in the red. Well, that really wasn't a true number of what you were using for the year or what you were in the hole from that fund.
So we're gonna go from a $250 to a $5, I think you called it the service fee.
Service fee, county
Okay.
service fee, yes.
And you ought to be able to pretty well figure out
That's
how
my
much
source,
extra
yeah.
money they'll generate.
Right, yes.
I mean, it's almost like a teeter-totter,
Uh-huh.
because if you're doing a little bit more
Mhm.
service fee, then you're saying the property tax or the general fund
Right,
would lower corresponding to a certain degree,
that's correct.
other than expenses don't stay constant.
Right, and like all the expenses, like printers, they tell us what printer to get.
Yeah.
They're expensive, very expensive. So if we're paying that out of my treasurer's budget with the county money, when it really should be from those service fees that they are paid for, scanners, and they tell us which ones we have to get. So it's not like we can go out there and try to figure to find the cheaper ones. So the toner that we buy for those are like $350 a machine. So we use a lot of those. So all of that's been being paid out of county because there wasn't enough funds in the fee. So it should help in that treasurer's budget.
So like one vendor for the whole state or multi-states? I mean, I'm guessing there are 2 or 3 sources to get that toner or that.
Yes, there's options. We have this one company that he comes to all our conferences. It's Kingdom Cartridge or Kingdom and then Cartridge. And that's who we've gone with forever. They stand behind if there's any problems with anything and just make sure everything's right on them. And he will tell us if, like we have to buy maintenance kits. Sometimes the printers they have the new rollers and all the pieces in there. Well, the staff has got used to it. They do it ourselves instead of paying this company. But one of our printers, and it was one of our newer ones, wasn't working. And I had to call this company Better Image. They're from McPherson area. They come up and worked on it. So then I paid for all that. So for years and years ago, the state used to take care of a lot of that, but they haven't. Printers, we used to buy all our things.
Have you guys run the numbers on what a $5 would do?
I actually ran the numbers on the, with the,
Give us maybe an update. And you'll need our vote on this?
No.
Okay.
Only if they go to 10.
$5.
Oh, if we go to 10,
so we don't
okay.
have to do that. So I thought this way it kind of gives us an idea of where we're at the end of the year.
Okay.
Hopefully it gets us out of the red or close to it. And then we can change it from year to year. Just because we're at 5 trying to get this out of the red and pay for things as things go on, then we can always make adjustments each year.
When you do that, will it be retroactive or will it actually go right away?
January 1st.
Okay, start next year.
Yeah.
So there's 3 employees that take care of that with part of their time on the motor vehicle part. You said something about, I thought you kind of implied that you're a little short-handed on that.
So 3 employees are paid out of motor vehicle at this time.
That's where we budget their dollars to come out of, and then the rest of them are coming out of the general fund under the treasurer's department. Salary and benefits.
So the revenue comes from property owners, actually, homeowners and landowners. But the areas, Dickinson County, 18,000 people. Obviously, not everyone has a house of the 18,000. But gosh, we break that down. Smaller communities don't get much money, even at that rate. And the bigger areas, do well. You know,
I think the, like Sedgwick County, I think we all remember seeing how she was closing offices because she didn't have the money,
oh,
you know, and that was a crazy thing. Was it last summer, I believe it was, and people couldn't get in. So they finally opened another satellite station. But, you know, I think Johnson County, they like, it's like, I was thinking he said like $1 million it took from their county to pay for their motor vehicle offices. So they were,
hurting.
yeah, a
Oh.
lot. So,
I mean, we try to encourage them to pay online and avoid, you know, coming in here and waiting in line and taking the time, but
So what is the wait time? I mean,
in our
and
office,
maybe it's, you know, it's always hard to tell because I'm in a position I can come in
right,
any time of the day where some people it's, or they're new now or
depends, because if you're just renewing, it doesn't take long. But then you get lots of people with lots of problems. And these ladies, I mean, Diane's calling the state, different places, trying to get titles figured out, or a lot of times we can't even wait on the people, they have to come back. So, you know, it's not just, and then you get those customers at noon, people's trying to come in at noon just to renew their tag. Then there is a wait time, but I don't think in our office we have much of a wait time.
that's what I said. I think the customer service level is at a
Yes.
pretty high standard.
And I think a lot
Because realistically, you know, whether it's a doctor's appointment or something at the county or anywhere, I mean, you know, it's going to take a half an hour
right,
or an hour, and maybe that includes driving time and parking and.
yeah.
But I mean, it's not like we're the fast lane at McDonald's or something, you know.
Is there one?
Well, it's not, it used to be fast. Yeah, you know, there when they first opened,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's fast, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, maybe
You're
that's
first in line only. in line.
the timing. But, you know, those are some of the things I want to work on.
I guess my question, where I was trying to lead my question is, couldn't you do a study to see what the fee would need to be to cover your costs?
Well,
On the amount of last year motor vehicles that you registered or personal taxes they paid?
because we had done a survey back of what the expenses was for that office. And then what our expenses were, and it was $88,000. And that was a year and a half ago if we did that. So, you know, big expense that comes to the county. And I just have, like I said before, I just feel like the person with
Sorry, let me
ownership.
restate that. Couldn't you do a study based on how many motor vehicles you registered last year? I'm not saying the right words here, but
Uh-huh.
couldn't you do that and then see what the fees would need to be to cover that cost?
Kind of a cost analysis.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then figure out, you know, I guess what I'm trying to argue with is,
That we could do that for the first of the year, making
Okay.
sure that we want to stay with the $5.
yeah,
That you couldn't.
I don't think anyone's gonna be mad if we go, hey, we need to charge this fee to cover the cost so we don't have to take out from property tax. I don't think anyone's gonna be too upset about that, but
Yeah.
makes sense to me, I guess.
And I have a different angle on property tax, just to think about. You don't have to agree.
Okay.
We always think of people that own property, they pay the property tax. But if you're renting, you still pay property tax. You just don't know it. That's part of your rent. That's part of the overhead of that rent. And so they're living somewhere. And so, you know, from that standpoint, I mean, it's not quite the same. Because they can more easily move from one rental to another or whatever, but you still, that's part of your rent, you're paying it. If you're living in a piece of property that's getting taxed.
Except the person has lots of property or farmer that has lots of ground, he's paying much more than a home.
No, that's true. That's kind of a,
So,
Could be off on my number here, but I thought I looked up, we had 6,500 or 7,000, might be a little more than that, homes, actual houses in Dickinson.
ooh,
You take the, I don't know,
that might be about.
it was the EDC housing
housing.
assessment, I think, is where I got that number.
Yeah,
In Abilene at one time, I remember they put out that there were like 1.7 people per home.
oh, right.
We kind of, well,
So maybe.
but obviously there's a lot of single
Yeah,
homeowners.
yeah, completely off topic here.
Well, no, but that, I think that 6,500 is probably one surprise me.
I'll see if we can't get some information on that.
That's a third of it.
Regardless, I guess I think we've talked about this before. I think the fees ought to cover the DMV department. I mean, I'm with,
Exactly. To make them true numbers for your motor vehicle budget, everything that needs to be in that. Fund needs to come out of there instead of being shifted over to the treasurer side. So that's my plan, to work on that, try to get that a little better. But tomorrow is the deadline that I have to turn in for this fee to take us through the end of the year, from July 1st to the end of the year. So then I'll work on that to see what we're going to do January 1st for 2027. See. So I just wanted to let you know where we were on this in case somebody ever talks to you. And then if you have any questions or think of some, please contact me. Okay? Did you think of anything that we needed to say? Thank you.
here for support.
She doesn't have all the notes either.
I knew she had it covered.
That's right.
Thank you, ladies. Online's unable to access.
We're not able to access it?
Somebody was telling me.
Okay, that's weird.
One more document for the CDBG, actually. So this is a release of funds
Yeah,
document that goes with.
That's
the one
weird.
we had to sign last week. It basically said who's to be the signers on that. This just needs your signature, kind of goes along with that environmental study that they passed. And then on this that you signed last week. Yeah, just last week. Actually, I have your initial as well under the CEO slot. I had to confirm with them that that's who they want there. Should be good to keep us moving on the CDBG grants.
Thank you.
okay, that's weird. You want me to stop it and start it again?
Yeah, I would probably stop the whole thing because it's showing that it's broadcasting, but even when we try to join in,
It won't let me join.
Yeah.
It says waiting for organizers to start the meeting on their end.
Is that what, okay, but it's,
What
when we
Ashley
tried to
said.
join, it says
same
that,
thing.
yeah, okay, so I'm gonna stop it and.
It's the cost of the
Before it's anyways,
Okay, so it's working now.
what I heard from her. She wants to get
in
it
the
on.
waiting room. I wonder if it just didn't connect.
I
I
suppose-
agree. If you're registering a vehicle, I mean, I feel like you should cover that.
That was that's a go-to meeting glitch.
Okay, so we're back live. Weird.
You still got you working?
Tomorrow I work 2 hours and Monday I work.
We want to sit down here and do everything.
Now I can do it from the
Yesterday's, I had off, but
We put it.
I had.
Yeah, but you don't have, oh, there it is.
Is Jessica still working there?
No, nope, nope, no, she
What
hasn't.
happened there?
Yeah.
So I'll just have you scroll down when they were sitting in a waiting.
Back in 2025.
For some reason.
So when we stopped and started, they automatically joined back in.
Okay.
So it's broadcasting,
Get in
and
there.
that portion was also recorded. So when we put it on YouTube, it's not missing anything.
Yeah, and we're not too in trouble there. We didn't vote or nothing.
Yeah, so.
We're not Wrecking
Well,
court.
back in the day, it was open because the door is open, but it's not.
I know,
Nothing was
I was going to ask,
It was, that's,
You want to?
back in the day, you just opened the door. You didn't have.
Yeah.
yeah, it really isn't a requirement.
No, it's
just
not.
kind of a courtesy or a service.
Right.
Technically, the only official record is the minutes you guys approve.
Hmm,
Now, if we make recordings, they have to be made available,
gotcha.
but we don't have to make the recordings.
Let me keep going.
You want me to go over the,
Keep it old school. I said, we'll kick it old school, start sending couriers around.
yeah, sound guys.
Yeah.
All right, Dustin Parks, the IT director, and I just want to show you guys, due to the resolution that you guys passed for the location, it's us to try to get an ability for people to sign up for that. So inside our new government tenant for Microsoft, we have the ability to schedule meetings and then let people schedule meetings on behalf of users. So I kind of threw this together for the county commission user. The county commission has always had an email. And what I did was I just made it a user. So commission@bkcps.gov has its own public invocation. Technically, this is the booking page, and one of the services of the booking page is the public invocation. So eventually, if we wanted to put stuff on this, for like organizations to schedule time to come in and talk about budgets or something like that, we can use the same platform. But for now, it's just this. And so
Good idea, by the way.
if you wouldn't mind clicking on read more.
Read more, yep.
So the notice that's on there, it says duration 5 minutes, it's free. And then that also kind of goes into the Cora requirement stuff. We still need Aaron to read over that and approve that. But it's on there. If you don't mind clicking it.
Sorry.
Very fine. And then scrolling down a little bit. So the first available meeting date is technically April 30th. And the time is 11, so that's the only time available. And then if you click the right arrow next to April,
Mm-hmm.
you can go forward and select more dates. And still the only time available is 11, and that's the way we set it so that only one individual can reserve a time slot. And then if you scroll down a little bit. So this is all the fields. The red asterisks are the ones that are required. First, last name, and email address are required. And then those questions have to be answered. And then
They're all yes or no.
yeah, they're all yes or no. But the reason that address and phone number are not required is since anything still submitted to this is considered public record. We don't want to default to having their phone number and address be on public record unless they understand that that's the case. So they go through, they mark their options, they click if they understand. I also put it there. Just so that it's blatant, so they can't say they skipped it. They have to click that, and then they click book. Then what happens is the commission email gets a notification. Anyone we assign to handle the scheduling gets a notification, and the person who booked gets a notification. And it comes through like a meeting invite, like you would normally see on Outlook. And then it reserves that slot, so only one person can have it, and it won't keep it open.
So maybe on the address and phone number side, you should put optional,
Can't.
or you can't add that to
No.
pop up there.
The optional is that it's not required. That's
Yeah.
because I can only put specific forms in there like that. Because it's the base, there are 5 fields that are base that are built into the system.
Oh, you
For reserving.
just drop down or what?
And yeah, and so then I select whether or not those fields are required.
Yeah.
Okay. I could add to the notice
Yeah,
and say like,
something, because they ain't gonna know that.
address and phone number are,
Subject,
are optional.
yeah,
I could do that.
or if we don't need it, don't even put them there. If you need it for anything.
I put them there because I didn't know if you'd want.
Yeah, so when you do your minutes, so this is somebody that's there, but you don't use their address, so.
First, last name and email.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah,
Because we have to have the email in order to reserve it, because
Right.
it's an email-based system.
You
right,
don't have to worry
right.
about later down the road, someone complaining that they didn't do it.
We can do that.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. It's just
It's your stuff.
literally marking it as.
I really wanted to.
Yeah,
It don't bother me either way.
Yeah.
My real question though, so this will notify Jennifer, right?
Whoever we put on.
For the scheduling, because you do this. Or you create this sheet?
it'll notify both of us.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I'd ask is once we get it live, is that we'd have a new section in our agenda.
Yep.
Agenda 4, which will be
You
invocation.
could take the roll call. Have the flag salute up.
You might as well. There's only 3 of us, so.
Yeah,
for
I
roll
mean,
call,
pretty easy to-
you could move flag salute up and then invocation underneath it. if
That's
you
what I
want.
would like to do.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right. I can fix that.
And then if possible, I'd like to have it to where you put who's,
It's fine, kind of like me, it says
exactly,
updates,
exactly.
ordinances or whatever.
Yep.
And
That's actually part of it, is that's why we have to have the name, is because if it's an item where you have a scheduled time,
Yes.
their name has to appear on the agenda,
It's good.
whether it's a business or a name, but
Something.
so, and then the terms and conditions right now just links back to our website. I figured that's something that we
Yeah.
could have, if Aaron wants to go for that, and that's just a check we can true. That's basically what it is. It's super simple in terms of how it operates, basically a public meeting invite.
Do you want to go ahead and send everything over to him and get that ball rolling after you take off address? Get that, I think that makes sense. Yeah. Thank you.
So that's
We're gonna open this up on the 30th.
up to you guys. Technically, once Aaron approves it, I mean, the system is actually like, it's not out there anywhere, but it's,
I'm Aaron shoot for the 30th.
so,
I know he's working on some other stuff that I haven't even got back, so
Yep.
maybe we have, I don't know.
No,
but yeah, I can do that. I'll send them this information today, just see if you approve it.
and then it'll be a link on our website that they'll be able to go to and
Cool. Because if you put
Schedule
the
and go.
link there, we
Get
can,
it going.
the link will also look like.
There you go. That's where it's at.
Where's the link gonna be on the website?
Oh,
Whatever you want.
can't do
Oh,
it.
okay. I didn't have the thought already.
I mean, I'll probably put it on the commission page alone.
Yeah.
Like, that's its own thing, but we can put it in.
Yeah.
So it's.
we had a little trouble starting off. there.
So we can put it
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Okay. nice.
Awesome.
Didn't cost us anything extra, it's just part of the license. So it's already included. We're actually gonna work on the same thing for the treasury department to do their D&B stuff, so that they don't have to pay for assistance for that. And she wants to maybe try to use it for the commercial vehicle stuff too.
We got some multiple uses out of it. huh?
Yeah, definitely. So,
All right. Any other questions on it?
good job.
Yep, thank you, Justin. No, nope, it's a joke. I don't want to do
Yeah, thank you.
It's funny.
it.
This like tune these strikes.
Good morning.
Morning. How are you guys?
Not so bad yourself.
Oh, ready for me?
Go ahead.
Always ready for you, June.
Real.
Prepared even.
3-minute timer though.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Something to yell time at.
Yeah,
Back.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, I don't have a lot, but I'll bring you up to speed kind of what I know. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Right now, I'm down 3 detention officers in the jail. I've got 1 scheduled to start. They're employed at another business right now. We're just waiting on them to come to us from them. Our jail staff's going to meet with an applicant tomorrow for an interview. And then I've got another applicant I've done a preliminary background on the schedule for an interview and move forward with that one. So hopefully we'll have full staff here in just a month or so. I'm full on the road. I've got 1 at the academy. He's due to graduate on May 1st. Once he graduates on May 1st, he's got a 14-week field training program with us that he should be out on his own. So then we'll be full staffed on the roadside. Our new records clerk starts this Monday. She'll be doing registered offenders, tickets, and records. Had a lot of training recently for both the jail and the road, different trainings. The jail finished a controlled force training and RAP training. RAP is it's kind of a restraint device that we can use to put people in. And once they're in there, we can pick them up, put them in a backseat of a car, wherever, and transport them. But we can also use it in the jail to detain prisoners that are combative. It puts them in an upright position, a seated position, kind of upright, but it lets them breathe effectively. It's really, I think the Abilene Police Department participated too, and Jason Wilkins, the chief, actually got in and said it was actually more comfortable than what he thought it was going to be. They're all trained on the RAP. That went well. They completed the taser training. What's that?
I've heard it was, did we take pictures of that?
Actually, there are pictures of our training. If you want to come to our next training, let me know.
You can throw me in there.
All right. Now,
I'll do it. Don't lead me in there, Jerry.
once you're in there, you're gonna go.
Start talking about the budget then.
There you go.
That's what I do, Jerry. Maybe I won't.
Is this one of those self-defense where they have someone they have to throw down or show how to disarm?
We've done that. And then they put them in the rack.
No.
So taser training, we've got our certification for this year done on the taser. And we've trained the new employees we've got since last year on the taser, so they're good to go. Our one of our deputies is a medic in the military. We had her, Alyssa Rivera, develop a trauma kit for our deputies, so she developed that, created it herself. They've all been trained on the usage of that, so that's been done. Our CPR and AED training has been completed. Right now, as we speak, our jail staff is in a Zoom meeting on DNA collection training. For certain felons and different offenses, they have to collect DNA and send it to the KBI along with the fingerprints. They're in that training right now via Zoom. We're going to have, right now we have our road deputies come in to serve warrants. So if we bring somebody back from Iowa, we have to call a deputy in to serve the warrant. We're going to change that. We're going to have our jail staff start serving the warrants themselves. I've got one of my road deputies going to teach them on how to complete the arrest report in our mobile data system, our computer system, and transfer that over to booking. So I've got that training scheduled to teach them all how to serve warrants and do the proper arrest report. I just went to a 2-day training down in Wichita on how to do a thorough background investigation on applicants. Very, very productive. So I have a little bit better idea of background investigations and how it's been going now. Is Jeff's kind of been handling the background investigations for the road side. He's busy with other things, so I do the background investigations on our jail staff. In June, I'm scheduled to go to the National Sheriff's Association Conference in Omaha, so I'll be gone there for 4 days. Never been to one of those. I'm kind of anxious to go there.
Sure.
Eisenhower Marathon is this Saturday. I'll be there providing some traffic control. We've got another deputy providing traffic control. I was hoping to run in the marathon, but since I'm doing traffic control, I'm
Okay.
in the past, I've been intending to do it. I just overslept.
Yeah.
It hasn't worked out for me.
And a half marathon. You could.
How about a 10th marathon? That same day, Saturday, Carlton's having their Model A car show. They kind of have a little parade of Model A cars, and then they serve them lunch. I think she said they're going to line up at 11 or 11:30. If you guys are available, it'd be kind of cool.
When's that?
Saturday, this Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yeah. And she said they were starting the parade at 11:30, but they were lining up at 11. So, and they're going to serve at noon, and then I think it's done. So hopefully I'll make it down. Get done with the Eisenhower Marathon.
How do you do that? We're going to go camping, but not all day. So.
Yep. Tonight I've got a community sheltering class that Chancy's putting on. Both the undersheriff and I are both planning on attending that. We have in the jail, we've got a diverse, male and female staff. Also on the road, we've got a female, we've got female office workers. So I'm working with HR and trying to get some sexual harassment, sexual awareness training scheduled, just kind of as a insurance against future issues. So they're working on getting that set up. I think I told you the other day, I'm getting 2 new fingerprint machines, one for booking and one for civil applicants, people who come in for licensing. I'm having issues getting a hold of the salesperson, so I'm going to get hold of their manager later today, try to get that set up. We have a fund that's the concealed carry fund that we have to use specifically for concealed carry, since we do concealed carry fingerprints. We're going to be able to buy these machines, both of them out of that concealed carry fund, so it's not going to cost the taxpayers anything there. What else we got? Oh, if you're not doing anything Friday, I think it starts at 4:30 to 7. The June DeWeese pasta feed. She used to have a pasta feed for the runners in the marathon back when June DeWeese was running it. In her memory and in her honor, they've kind of started that back up, but they're inviting the public. So I think it's $8 a ticket. I can't remember, maybe.
Yeah, something like that, I think.
Yeah, so if you're not doing anything and you want some spaghetti, come down to the Catholic Church. I think that's where it's going to be held at. I plan on going there. Kansas Law Enforcement Accreditation Program. We're trying to get our agency accredited. Accreditation basically provides a standard across the board that they expect agencies to meet, both in their policy and their performance. One thing law enforcement's missing nationwide, I believe, are set standards. So hopefully on May 11th and May 12th, where they have our on-site visit. After that, they'll meet and discuss whether we met the requirements. So hopefully by June or so this year, we'll be fully accredited. I'm looking forward to that. I got an email about the North Central Regional Planning Commission. They're doing some discussion on jail needs and such. I plan on attending that next meeting to kind of find out what that's about, to see what the jail needs are. And I don't have any idea what the meeting is about. You kind of know what I know. So I'm looking forward to going to that. Of course, it's budget time. I'm going to be working with Marcus on the budget. I've kind of sat down and lined out where I think we can go. I got to meet with the undersheriff, and once we got that done, I'll meet with Marcus and we'll move forward on the budget. That I think it's going to be a much simpler process than what people think it's going to be. We're going to get an RFID system for our jail. Basically, that allows us to carry like an Apple iPhone when we distribute our medications, when we distribute our food, and different contacts. When we transfer one person from here to another place, we'll be able to transfer them on phone. It'll download into the computer. I went to Lynn County Sheriff's Office and saw how they were using it. And they told me that they had saved themselves basically a $5 million lawsuit just by using that program. And I asked them how, and they said, well, they had one inmate that was refusing his medication. So every time they refused, they put their iPad out and had him sign that he was refusing. And then when he filed the lawsuit saying he was being denied his medication, they just presented the proof and the lawsuit kind of went away. So that's going to be huge. We're also working on this. This was kind of strange to us, but our medical staff does everything on paper for the jail. There's no electronic medical record system for the jail. Now, when we sent out the RFP for a medical contract, it was included in there at the cost of an EMR. I just assumed it was so that we would have access. I had no idea that our medical staff wasn't computerized. It blew my mind. So if the jail staff was to call the doctor at 2 a.m. and say, I've got issues with this inmate, the doctor was relying solely on the information our officer was providing them and didn't have access to the record in front of them. To me, that's a huge liability. So we're looking at purchasing an electronic medical records for the jail. We're going to figure out where we need to get that from. I don't know exactly where, but we're looking at different different groups. I've looked at two so far, and there's one that was very expensive, and there's one that's very reasonable. So we're going to kind of compare where we're at, see where we need to go there. We're looking at an electronic medical records for the jail simply for liability purposes.
Does your booking system not have anything that is, could we work with it?
No. Now, our booking system will integrate, so it'll transfer over the PID information, personal identifiable information. But as far as med calls and exams and the medications they're on, that's not included in our jail program. So,
Yeah, probably was, yeah.
so we're looking at that. Couple more things, I guess. We've recently, well, we've been using it for several years now, the Northwest Shuttle System. It's basically, it's been around for like 40 years. I didn't know about it until about 2 years ago. But it allows us, let's say we've got a warrant for somebody in Oregon. We get into this shuttle program. Kelly Reed is in charge of it, our agency. She sets up the transport, but she can say, we've got a warrant for this guy. He's in Oregon. We need help getting him back. Ordinarily, we would send the transport service up there and pay thousands of dollars. The Northwest Shuttle is a network of sheriff's office agencies. So we'll put it out there, and this agency will say, well, we can get them from here to here. Another agency which says we can get them from here to here, and we can bring them back from Oregon at zero cost, other than where we have to pick them up from. So just last week, well, earlier this week, Saline County had one that had to go out of state. So they brought theirs over to us. We had one coming back from Iowa we had to pick up, so they brought them to Marysville, and we met them in between. And we just swapped prisoners. So the Northwest Shuttle program is a great program that allows us to save a lot of money. I didn't even know it existed. But it's all on the honor system. It's all kind of cooperation between agencies, and it's a great thing. All I have left to do, other than crimes I can't talk about, is recently we had a rash of vehicle burglaries in Enterprise. Our investigators developed potential suspects, and we started some surveillance of those suspects. Followed them around Enterprise one evening for about an hour. Watched them commit a crime, arrested them, and we were able to clear all the burglaries on that surveillance. At one point, one of our officers got up and was following them on foot. They were like from a meter wrong from them. They had no idea who were them. So it was kind of a good time for the officer.
Pretty smart criminals.
Yeah. I have no idea what else I got. So if you guys have questions.
The people having like the doorbells and the cameras and so on, I mean, is that acting as a good deterrent, or are there things that people should be doing maybe just to remind them of some common sense?
It's a great deterrent. It's not so much, the doorbell cam is not so much as a deterrent, other than it is a tool for us to use as far as developing leads, because for some reason, nobody really seems to care if they're on video anymore. Some of these low-level criminals that we're dealing with. As far as what people can do to help us is simply lock your cars or keep your vehicle belongings out of sight if your car is locked. These folks weren't breaking into cars. They were just getting into cars that were unlocked, rummaging through them, taking what they wanted, threw whatever they didn't want out, and went on to the next one. So everybody just needs to lock their cars. That's huge.
A separate question, and I mean, it's not really directly to you, but it would impact you on diversion funds, because that's something that we can use for specific purposes, processed through the county attorney and so on. But have those accumulated in a way that's...
Last I checked, there was plenty of funds there. The county attorney kind of administered that fund. We don't touch that much. We have access to we have the VIN fund we can use. We have our jail inmate fund that we can use. We've got asset forfeiture that we can use. So we pretty much allow the local agencies to kind of tap into the diversion fund more. So if they need body cameras or something like that, there's a resource there for them, because they don't have those other capabilities that we have. So
I had a question about
And then what's the process to actually access that? There are specific purposes that it has to be used for, so.
Yeah, and I'd have to pull up the statute to see exactly what it can be used for, but it's, the
Law
last year
enforcement
alone, we really didn't utilize budget. There's only about $30 spent. So that could be something that we could review, just making sure that we're any upcoming purchases that, possibly save the.
I would imagine it's probably like other funds where it says in the statute that it can be used to supplement your budget.
Right.
So ordinary budget things like salaries, vehicles and stuff like that, I don't think it can purchase unless that vehicle is outside of your normal budgeting process.
Could a city, for example, put a camera up on their main street or something like that? Just
Yeah.
kind of for security, would that qualify for that if they?
Yeah, if it's
Willing to do that.
specific for law enforcement use, definitely.
The only issue I would see with that is if you put a camera up like that and it's through one of those, like the flock system or one of the LPR systems, then you're gonna have an annual maintenance fee on that.
Right.
And that's where they get you. I mean, it's not cheap.
And that's where it has to be built into their operating budget. We wouldn't be able to use diversion funds for that continuing expense.
I had a citizen ask me a question about body cams. Do they turn on once they go to start a call? Or how does that actually
Our
work?
body cameras and our car cameras are linked together. And once our car speed hits a certain speed, they'll automatically come on. So if you activate the body camera, the car camera comes on. You have to activate the car camera, the body camera comes on. So anytime we hit a certain speed, it'll pop up. Anytime we turn on our red lights, it should activate. We've got it set up so anytime we draw our weapon, they should automatically turn on. And anytime we activate our taser, they should automatically turn. One of the functions we've got on our system is, let's say Marcus is another officer and I draw my weapon. It's not only going to activate my body camera, but it's going to turn his on too. So,
Proximity or something?
yeah.
One other thing, unless you had something else.
No, I just remembered it when you mentioned body cam, so I thought I'd ask.
The person that had brought this up, but I've heard it from some other people and they were very understanding, but they were concerned about some people going a high rate of speed or ignoring stop signs and so on, and kind of wish that you or one of your officers happened to be there where they could catch that. And then they would say, realistically, we realize you can't park at one rural intersection for length of time, but what is your kind of summary of how you cover the county? Because randomly you have people driving through or stopping.
We've talked about zones. We've thought about establishing different zones throughout the county, but if you've got a domestic disturbance, you've got a disorderly subject, that's a two-man call. We only have 3 men out at a time. So we really can't work zones that way. So we are pretty much all over the county. If we have a specific area that they want us to patrol, we will patrol that specific area. The only issue that we have with speed and stop signs and stuff may be rural roads, like dirt roads, gravel roads. Those can be tricky for us because let's say you got a 55-mile-an-hour speed limit on a dirt road, and we're going down a dirt road and we clock somebody at 70. We've got to turn around on them, and then we've got to catch up to them. But if they're running 70 miles an hour, we're not going to catch them running 70 miles an hour, which means we have to run 100 miles an hour to close that gap. So it's extremely dangerous to try to do something like that on a rural road. The paved roads like Enterprise Road here, Old 40, it's a whole lot easier because it's paved. You've got line of sight better out there because there's no dust. It's easier to enforce the traffic laws on pavement than it is on ground.
And I know just from driving the county, I'll see an officer on my way to Harrington or Solomon, Old 40. It doesn't matter where in the county. I know folks are out there.
Yeah, we just this week, one of our deputies was headed to Carlton, and he had one at 106 coming north by K-15 down by Elmo.
Yeah.
So going 100 on a dirt road is about like going 80 on a boat.
And
Not stopping.
there's a safety factor for
Not-
not only for
not
the
gonna-
citizens, but for our officers too.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, I know one of our deputies was talking the other day, and they had one at 100 and something, and they just radioed in because they said there's no way we're going to catch them. So,
Yeah.
but it does help because when we radio now, other agencies can hear us because we're on the 800 system. And I can't tell you how much better that radio system operates than our old VHS system. It's like the difference between night and day. So that's probably the biggest thing we've done since I've been sheriff is get that radio system.
I guess the other concern that tied in with that other is we do receive feedback, I'm sure you do, that now that we have a population area that relies on horses or wagons or carriages, that they're concerned about the speed because if you're going 55 mile per hour and come over a hill,
You're coming up quick on a horse.
that's a real concern. So
About all you can do then is put up caution signs with, the horse and buggy signs you see around, let them know that they're there. Then it's up, I think, to the driver to be more aware and be more mindful that, hey, this is an area where I could experience that. At least you're giving them some sort of a heads up that it's coming. Also, there's been instances where they've said that these horse and buggies have been out after dark and their lights weren't on. I've been out a couple of times and talked to them and they expressed, that's not the way it's supposed to be. If the light's out, we're going to get it fixed. If they turn the light off for some reason, we're going to make sure they turn it back on. So we're trying to work with them, but that is a danger. But all you can do is kind of alert the public because they do have state laws that they have to follow. And if it appears they're following, there's nothing to do about it.
I'm not trying to give an excuse here, but I think some of these nighttime cruisers might be younger adults. And so maybe a little understanding, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I will say this, one of the elders expressed to me that was probably the situation.
So they break the rules a little bit too, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, and the concern this one person had that explained to me is they were in a situation recent that they weren't sure they could get stopped or go around them or take the ditch. And if two of the options, and it's not safe to go around them on a hill. The vehicle doesn't want to have to take a ditch, especially with some of the ditches, and you don't have to be going that fast, but taking a ditch with culverts and they don't want to hit a wagon, they don't want to hit a horse.
All you can do is make the public aware that there's a hazard there. But everybody who has a driver's license has to drive with the due regard for the safety of others, regardless of what the law is. So if the law says the speed limit here is 55 miles an hour, but there's ice on that road, you have to drive at a speed that's safe to operate on that highway, no matter what the posted limit is. So, and that's why your accidents happen when the first snow hits. Because people are driving the speed limit and they don't know it's ice until they know it's ice.
No, thank you
Everybody has
it's a
their
tough issue.
responsibility. The horse and buggy has their responsibility. The drivers have their responsibility. Everybody has their own responsibility.
I've experienced this firsthand. If you're on a dirt road, you come to a hill, I'm just saying this for anybody who may probably aren't listening, but get to the right, never crest the hill on a dirt road in the middle of the road. That is, if you live in the country, that is 101 to driving.
Yeah.
Just don't do
And
that.
you don't know what's just over the hill.
Exactly. You don't know what's coming.
Driveways or fields, people pull out.
Just a little word of advice, slow down and come to a hill. It ain't gonna ruin your whole day to go 20 miles slower over a hill.
Well, and besides that, if you're on a rock road, you're usually driving in the middle of the road because that's where the ground is. So when you get to the top, on every hill, you should be on your side of the road.
Exactly. Just like you don't pass on a hill, don't go down the middle of the road on a hill.
Common sense.
Yeah, well,
There's responsibility going around for everybody. So.
common sense thing.
Well, for safety, Jerry, you guys have got a lot of equipment to protect yourself
We do.
and record things and make sure everything's up and up. But this is springtime and cattle are out in pastures and they get out. Have you got a way to call them, get them back in and things like that?
I do.
Serenade back in.
I would come upon cattle out a lot when I was on the road, so I carried pliers and wires just so I could get around the fence. But the best part about a cow is they know where they got out. So you just have to walk up to them and kind of get them going, and they'll walk right back in where they got out. That's the key to a cow. They know exactly where they end the fence they got out, and they know exactly how to get back in.
Yeah, but
So,
people can thank you guys for going out to these calls and taking care of those situations.
I wasn't real familiar with horses years ago, and it was raining and snowing, and I had a horse out, and I chased this horse forever. Pissed me off. So I turned and walked off, and the dang thing just started following me. So I walked into the crowd, and that's the day I learned that you drive cattle, you need a horse.
I was just gonna say that.
Well, you're in shape for the marathon.
Give it a few months. I'll try to remember to get a hold of you guys when we do our next wrap training, and put one of you for all of you. So,
Could be dangerous.
Well, thank you. Thank you for thinking of us.
Yeah,
but
thank you, Jerry.
you guys have anything else, you guys all have my cell phone number, give me a call. I'm the easiest guy in the world to get a hold of. So,
Likewise.
all right.
Yes, thank you for all you do. And express that to your department too.
I
I
truly.
mean, I know they're out there and
I will. I'm good to go. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Jerry.
I can talk to you about a FOIA request
No,
when you get down here.
that's fine.
I just sent it off to Aaron to have you look at it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jerry.
so speaking of robotics, I don't know, it's on the internet, so who knows, but it was in Europe and there were some wild boars inside the city area. They had trouble with it and they actually have a robotic person
Wow.
chase, or well, not a person, a robotic chase them. And so it's just going along and it can sense where they are and they just keep moving away from it. And I thought, well, that's kind of a, and I don't know why they just run them off somewhere where they're going to come back or.
True, that's.
You speak of those wild boars, I have to tell you a story. When I was a young boy, my father was stationed in Europe, and I didn't know they had wild boar there. And they have beautiful woods, and they're really clean and everything. And a bunch of us young boys wanted to get together and camp out. So we borrowed our father's sleeping bag. Unfortunately, those days, sometimes those little sleeping bag zippers don't work so well. They kind of hang up and stuff. So we were out camping, and we heard this oink oink noise, and a whole bunch of these wild boar came up, and I tried to get out of the sleeping bag. And I'm telling you something, that zipper would not go down. I screamed. You can't move hardly. And you try to hop. It was bad. We got that.
They used to have a gunny sack.
Yeah, well, I can see why you practice a gunny sack.
Yeah.
Anyway, so make sure you lube that.
You just zip it up and not.
To help us feel it. Anyway,
Well, I think there's some places in the US that have trouble with wild
I
boars.
think Texas is one example. Watch that.
Eastern Oklahoma and
Down south, evidently.
but once they get in an area,
They tear up a lot of them.
they're difficult to catch too. They're on the move and
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, you do? Okay.
anyway.
Yours sent it off.
Yeah, I sent it to her. She's got it.
Do you have any questions on the HVAC replacement?
Do we have deadlines when things are submitted or so on? And,
What do you mean deadlines?
well, we had one and then we got a second bid.
Yes, yeah.
And I guess the thing that, and I don't think, I know that's not the instance here, but
So no, it
I
was,
know that was a situation where bids were all turned in and then.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you get a late hour bid that happens to be lower and then all of a sudden there's a lower bid.
it was all requested last week, and the reason this changed was he was able to buy in bulk and get a discount. So that's why he was able to make a change on that, so.
So was the other person notified that a revised bid had been turned in or?
I believe Seth did let them know because we asked for them for another bid on a similar type of unit, and they said that this is what their best bid is.
Are these local individuals? I mean, I know.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They both are.
I don't know. this.
Yeah, they're both.
With my brothers, yeah.
I don't know.
Kind of.
And Dickinson County people.
There was a third bid, but it was only for the air conditioning unit, right?
Right, that was only for the AC, so, but the furnace is part of the unit is 25 years old, so it seemed to make sense that we go ahead and replace both of them.
Oh. I get you, where you guys want to go with the 10-year thing.
Right.
Typically, like everyone realizes when warranties are used, they're usually used in the first year or two, most of the time. Very rarely you're gonna, and then like lifetime heater changer, like. I don't know where I'm at on this.
I know, it's,
My question is, even if it did break, we had to fix it, you still only at the cost of buying it from him? Why not buy the cheaper one and take the risk and see if it works?
that's,
Because you could probably, you get what I'm saying, you probably end up fixing the thing for still less than $4,000, and
mhm,
kind of hard to believe that it would cost more than half the price to fix something.
right. No,
Am I thinking wrong?
You're talking about retiring.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is his is quite a bit lower of a bid. The reason I think staff maybe wants KVK is for that warranty.
warranty plus they're familiar with our systems, but, you know,
I guess what I'm saying is that me personally, I guess I'll just say it, I would like to get with Al try, but just because it's lower bid and that's what we're incentivizing. But I want to hear what everybody else say.
that's why I put it out there. Just want to see where you were at with that.
I like Darren a lot. But he gets a lot of our business.
Share the wealth of what you're saying.
I guess it's kind of, Andy's doing a little bit. I mean, I get that the warranty.
Is there anything on that?
I think it's the same thing, isn't it?
They're both, hang on, let me get you.
Look, look,
Three-phase AC,
under Rude, under York.
yeah. Three-phase condensers. 230 volts,
You didn't see
three-phase.
the efficiency on it.
I don't
I
see.
mean, that's what I look for when I
efficiency.
buy stuff. My bill later, I want to know about, you know. Just a suggestion.
Funding for this, we do have a health capital fund, so there's a,
Yeah, I'm not seeing
the health capital fund is about $96,267 in it right now.
Okay.
See it anymore.
So this is something kind of known at some point when it came up, that was gonna be the source of the funding. So it's just.
This one is not much of a health capital furnace,
Thank you.
but I didn't, I couldn't find it.
Yeah, we don't see them.
It might not be necessary. It's just like-
Okay.
I will say this, you gotta be careful of York, it doesn't always mean here. Sandton,
You what?
there's a lot more to that than I think the public understands.
Good to know.
Being in a company that where we buy very much smaller HVAC equipment, obviously only for a tractor, doesn't mean it's made here.
Okay,
I don't know where this one's made, I'm just saying it.
good to know. Yeah,
They can private label their manufacturing in other countries as easy as anybody else can.
okay. Good to know that, definitely.
So, and then I've heard of Rude before. I don't think we have anything big enough to need a three-phase HVAC, but we don't, just to answer the question, that's all. So, but I have heard of them. And then I Googled it because you kind of brought it up, I Googled it here while we're sitting here.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty well known, but.
Okay.
What we're talking about, Lynn, is these bids here.
Yeah.
And then what maybe we would like to do there. I guess my inclination would be I guess I'd like to give it with now. Be where I would go, but I'd like to know what everyone thinks.
What's the basis on that?
If you're gonna get a smaller warranty, and it's a different product. It's not a York.
Well, yeah.
Look at this money real quick.
I mean, that's one thing, it is always discretionary because there's factors of availability, time of completion, warranty. And, product, what it's able to take care of. And the capacity has to be there. And you don't want more than what you need either. Specifically, because we had more than one bid to consider, correct?
You had the two comparable, the one listed from KBK for 11,265, and then the Wolf Now for 7473, and that's to replace both the furnace and the AC. Now, Wolf Now also did give a bid or a quote to replace the AC unit only. But I think it makes sense to go ahead and replace both of them since they're both 25 years old.
So the combined bid on with now,
7,473.20.
and then plus,
No, that's just the AC if we only replace that. So this one would be for the actual RTU.
Right.
What they're saying here. HVAC replacement, furnace and AC. The one we would, there's the condenser, there's the furnace. They're gonna realize these things last 20 years. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
Make a decision.
Comes to mind just as we're talking about the health department. So the situation on the parking lot and drainage and so on, we're just kind of dealing with what's going on and.
For the time being, yes, and Martin and his crew have gone in and patched where we can, so we've got to set aside money, because that's easily, I think the last quote that we had was well over 300,000, because the entire parking lot and then there to the north side, all the way down past EMS would have to be dug up and replaced and drainage put into it, and that's the estimate that our engineers come up with.
So there's a little bit of a stream or waterway down.
Yeah.
Do you know how far? I mean, is it like 25, 30 feet or 60 feet or?
Yeah, I don't know. I have to
I mean,
go
I
back
don't know if
and
that
look at the
makes any
old.
difference, but that's the cause of what they feel is
Yes.
creating the deterioration.
Deterioration, yes, yeah. Yeah, and then plus we found
Land
down
movement.
further on the north side, down closer to the MS building, they didn't have rebar in the concrete, so that's why we ended up replacing some of it, so.
Low bid.
Well.
Well, I shouldn't say that because it could be the
I don't know.
inspector, or maybe it wasn't in the specs. Maybe it got overlooked.
Possibly, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, if it's of any size, I mean, it should.
Somebody didn't check some. You don't lay concrete with that rebar.
Oh, no, I know.
Think so, but yes.
Not even something, not even a driveway.
Yeah, I would think. I mean, I guess you could, if you wanted to.
Obviously they have, so. Probably more, not saying on our properties, but more than what we would realize across.
There's a reason for structurally having it in there, and I mean, it's just common. Every once in a while, there's different ideas on how spacing of the rebar, the thickness of it,
Mhm.
some of the other mesh they have
Right,
available. It used to be the thing you'd run into or hear about. Concrete would be compromised or changed when they dig it up. They poured the concrete down so much that it just pushed all the rebar down to the bottom. And so it's the same as not having it in there almost.
right.
Well, the aggregate they use today, you know, some of that rock is not hard anymore.
Right.
That creates a problem.
Mhm.
Whereas there, past, they had ledges where they were getting very good hard rock
Mhm.
and worked nice in the concrete, but,
Well, and then test the concrete.
yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
floors and,
Yeah.
you know,
Zunberg,
Yeah.
39.
Did you? Dang. That was good.
That's it.
you what?
Yeah, but how much?
We had to buy quite a bit. I mean, not what we buy.
Right. Okay.
Enough for like 100 by 100 parking lot we just made.
So we have used concrete that we get.
Yeah, yeah.
We've been able to not have to buy it because, yeah.
We cleaned it up because we were driving back and we were looking at all the piles of DOT.
Yep.
That's who you should be calling if you want to get some riprap.
Anytime we can, that's what we do. Yeah, and use it. So the other thing that you had on your study session, if you didn't have any other questions on the HVAC, was election system and software for the DS200. And Jennifer's got a quote there to purchase 4 additional machines.
Go up there.
So why would we need those machines?
This is to finish off all the polling locations plus the courthouse. So that we are all on a unified system. All the poll workers get trained. It's a benefit to the voters as well, because when you enter your ballot into this secure ballot box, it also tabulates. They will let you know if you overvoted on a race. May not be necessarily known. And it'll let you know which race, it'll kick it out, allow you to fix your ballot and put it back in after it's fixed. And if it's
Ballot's not spoiled at that point.
hasn't counted anything till it goes all the way through. It's kind of nice for the poll worker side too, because at the end of the night, they have to balance their ballots. And there's no more handling of the ballots because they just balance with their poll pads to this DS200 and any provisionals that they, instead of handling all and counting them all by hand, the balance with the poll pad.
So if someone does a hand ballot and they're supposed to vote for one, and they happen to vote for 2 on one race, does that,
It will let them know.
well, but if they do it by hand and they've put it in the ballot box, so when it comes through to get counted, do all the other races count except for the one that they?
Yep. All the races would still count that they like or they voted for.
It's just the one race they messed up on or ballot question.
Because there's a barcode to designate which races they're supposed to be looking at, right?
Well, it knows from the coding, yeah.
I don't know if that happens very often, but
I'd be surprised. Yeah. People, are there, they just fill in circles and go on. And sometimes when you have some that's pick 2, and then there's back to pick 1 again, and then pick 2 again, it just depends on who's there, because it's primaries, narrow it down to a smaller amount. And then
Is there any competitive bids? I mean, comparable to what you can do with this here? And is there any competition with these bids on these parts that you need, these extra pieces of equipment?
there is different vendors that you can choose, but we already have these, so you don't want to get software
Yeah.
in a different one, and then some get this and some.
Yeah. But there's not any other company that sells just this one company.
This one company sells the DS200s. They may have something on other companies. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to mix match anything. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
sometimes you can go to a Chevy dealer in one town, but go to another Chevy dealer in another town, you still selling a Chevy. And I didn't know if these computer things, it's kind of almost monopoly basically.
Well, basically with elections, only certain vendors are approved because they go through a numerous amount of testing to be approved for that.
Now,
So we can't pick just whoever. It has to be approved in the state of Kansas. Different vendors to choose from.
Oh, wow.
so our customer discount, that's based on the fact that we already have equipment from them. So they gave us $3,400 off,
They did that on my last 2 orders,
$3,420.
customer discount.
Can you buy these on leases?
$3,440.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Can you buy these on leases?
On leases, not these, no. We did that with the poll pads though, so that we can renew them after 3 years and get the better ones. Yeah.
So slap my wrist if I'm going too far, okay? Are these I'm not saying they're not good, okay, but this is the vendor. Are these a tablet with the program on it?
No,
Okay,
these are big ballot boxes.
okay.
Stick your ballot in and it tabulates and it goes down to the bottom into a ballot holder.
It's not that you can control, but I was like, if they're selling us a tablet for $6,000, I got some questions.
It has a
I think we're
computer.
price gouging here.
Part of it, but it's not a tablet. It's a whole machine that
Okay.
opens up.
That
Put
makes
a
more
code
sense.
in and everything.
Okay.
Got to program the election every time. They
Gotcha.
hold it. Yeah.
So would these enable us to get the vote, tally vote out quicker? or-
Yes, that's another.
I mean, I guess that's one thing I hear about because,
We used to,
people check the website and other counties are in, or they'll hear it on the radio, Sling County's done. We're still waiting here and
but we can only get it as fast as they can get here. But to limit them to have to shut down at 7, then go through all the ballots, count them all up, balance them with their full pads, takes a long time. So this is already done at the end of the night. So basically, they just got to shut down the machine and then bring us the results with the ballots. And now the ballots just pull out of that machine and they zip tie them shut. There's no handling of the ballots anymore.
Well, eventually, you'll have to go through the hard copies, won't you, or we won't have any. It'll be all
We do
electronic.
an audit every year for every election. So they will be handled through the audit process, but otherwise not.
Just don't do your write-ins and credentials.
So it does write-ins too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but we'll have to tally them at the end with different software.
Okay.
Yes.
So Jennifer, they sell warranties for them, but are they telling us it's a new piece of equipment, but you probably need to buy a warranty? That's like telling me, there's a good chance I'm gonna break.
Well, we always buy that because it's the firmware thing you have on it. Yes.
Okay,
They
that's,
come and maintain it every year.
okay, I'm just,
I know,
it's just amazing me sometimes.
I understand it.
Problem is in like 3 years from now, they'll have like the DS 7000. And they'll tell us the DS 200s are no longer, you know.
That's exactly where my brain's going, because I'm like, this is software. We're gonna spend $6,000 on this. It's gonna be outdated in 2 years.
A lot of control.
Well, it's longer than that, but.
The wrong business.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
We should laugh about that.
And then I didn't know if you knew where this funding would come from. So I have an election equipment fund that has 25,000 in it set aside for this year.
set aside.
25,000 in my election equipment fund that's set aside for that. And then there's 4,070 left. And I'll take that out of my tech fund.
You got the money.
I have them.
You're just telling us what you're doing.
Well, I want you to be where it is.
Thank you.
I know that's usually a question that comes up where we're going to fund it. So,
I mean, as far as that goes, you're elected, you have your fund. I'm glad you're telling me us. Thank you. I
yeah.
appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, if you got the funding, I mean, and you think it's gonna help your department, then
Yes, we used to be like one of the last few counties that would turn in at the night. I mean, you've got the news calling every 30 minutes because everybody wants to go home. You got the state calling. So this has really eliminated us from being one of the last ones coming in. I just want to finish it up, help with poll worker training as well, being unified, trained on all the same stuff. Just
Sure.
makes it a more simple process.
So we'd still have poll workers, though, the same number of poll workers?
Yes,
or-
it's just replacing the ballot box in the room to tabulate it at the end of the night. And the state's already warning us that this August primary is going to be the second largest election that the state has had, and that we need to prepare for it. So this will just make me more prepared.
that's interesting.
So how are you going to come up with your guesstimate for how many ballots to get printed and to have those? I mean, that's such a dilemma because
No. One thing nice about these, if we ever had to make our own, like we had to in 22, that these read those. Our machine in 22 is so obsolete, it couldn't read the paper. That's why they all had to be counted by hand. Those have been since replaced. So there is a little bit of benefit to that too as well.
It's just your best estimate based on past history as to how she determines the number of ballots.
You don't want to order 100% and throw away 90, because that's cost to the county.
That's
You don't want to
right.
order too little and then have to make some. So there's never a good answer.
it's kind of like having a caterer of reservations.
Yeah.
You don't want to run out
No.
of food, but you don't want
Yeah, it's not like you can reuse them.
Yeah, they're done. Once they're used for that election, they're done. Every year, the ballots have a different seal on them too, so you can't reuse, like if someone had bought mass amount of ballot paper, but no election on it yet. The seal's getting replaced every year, so you have to replace them anyways. And we don't make our ballots in-house anyways at this location. They're made elsewhere and brought to us.
Is that common that they do that? People make them? Really?
There's some counties that print on demand, like our larger counties. I went and watched Wichita, but a lot of Wichita is into the machine ballots. So it was only a handful that were getting printed on demand that wanted an actual paper ballot.
So I'm sure there's discussions, clerks across the state or other states, but, you know, you still have the discussion, should everything go back to hand paper ballots and so on? I mean, is there much traction for that? Or is that just kind of a resistance to change?
That's probably a lot of it, resistance to change into the voter aspect side. But those express votes are just basically a big pencil. It's not doing anything else that you put the machine ballot into. Only thing different is machine ballots cost less than a paper ballot. So overall cost would be lower.
We deal with this on lots of things, I guess, but you know, you think of things of how your age group does things, and then you have the difference. Gen Z, millennium, everyone kind of has their own style or tendencies that they're gravitating towards.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I know what I prefer, but I still write checks by hand.
No.
My youngest daughter is white. I don't have a checkbook. Andrea probably thinks that too. She's more polite about it.
She's getting there on that. She might have been just slower to it.
Yeah.
I'm doing that. I write fewer and fewer checks all the time.
So checks are interesting, and sometimes how you deposit them in a bank has changed.
Yes.
Or now you can actually take a picture, and they've been for a while, take a picture of your check and submit it to the bank. This happened in a business that we're affiliated with. The employee takes the check and takes a picture of it and cashes it. In other words, sends it to the system. 3 months later, he walks into the bank with the check and cashes it again. And it takes a little bit of time to kind of reconcile where that came from, what happened. And then they finally traced it down. It's interesting how that can happen.
Mhm.
So,
So is he at Leavenworth or they sent him out of state?
no, he was working for the detention center, so he was admitted.
You just go through this.
Yeah, he just moved to another office.
Just an add-on to the.
Yeah.
So this is not on your agenda.
Yeah,
You can certainly add it, or you can move it to next week.
I don't think we need to vote on this. Is that correct, or do we?
Well, I was only saying because it exceeds through our procurement policy, it's over the.
Okay.
Yeah, the threshold.
We'll book back up. If the department head has a fund, with Jerry, for example, better example, he's got some big funds.
True.
He doesn't need to ask us, that's within his budget already, is it
We have
within
a
our budget?
procurement policy,
I get that.
yeah, which they were supposed to follow.
And then, so those will still have to get approval.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, we do still bring it to you for approval and.
Okay. It is the right way. I'm just,
Mhm.
I think some of the transparency and then so people know, because always,
yes, it is the way. we should do it, Yep. Okay.
It's an opportunity to document publicly within his official.
but also if there's emergencies and it's not
Right.
within that threshold, it gives the ability to act quicker.
Right.
Triggers a little bit differently. So, yeah.
You guys want to add it to the budget or to the agenda?
Yeah, let's wait a week. Okay. I mean, that doesn't make any difference, does it, Jennifer?
No, this is good till May 10th.
I'm flexible. Yeah, it says valid through May 10th, so we've got. a little time on it.
Okay, we will discuss speaking schedule. Well, we don't really have a whole lot of time, but I don't think we have any other matters of discussion, Janelle.
Nope.
So we'll take a quick 5-minute break and we will resume at 11 a.m. for our regular scheduled meeting. Thank you. Good morning.
How are you?
Not bad. Yourself? Good.
So I did come upon an accident tonight, back from Jefferson City, a young lady and got in a vehicle by herself.
Yeah.
It was, ooh,
This was,
it was got her. Never got her right across the field, fell her 77. The lady rolls her vehicle up the ditch. That's horrifying to watch.
Yeah.
So she was on the occupant.
Driving too fast for, or,
So
gotcha.
I see it all the time.
oh, it's,
In my family, it's,
No.
they have, now, they do have it up in the car system. But still, you're still not mentally on the driving set.
I have seen videos that it is worse than driving drunk or impaired.
Is that right?
More dangerous, yes.
I take mine, I turn it, when as soon as I get in the car, it's off. They call, I can't be distracted, I can't.
Mhm.
I never could dribble a basketball and shoot at the same time. No, you know what I'm saying now,
Mhm.
but it's horrifying to watch those things.
It is.
And this is the third time I've seen it on 77. And life's pretty precious.
That's a
And just-
pretty good stretch of road.
It's a nice,
Yeah.
it's a nice stretch. It just, Dolly, you couldn't say it was roads or bad visibility. It was just a beautiful day. All of a sudden, there's this, the tires are still set. Anyway, then you're suspicious. You want to, there's everything, just because you get up and walk away doesn't mean you're okay.
Right.
But lots of stuff like that. But that's, you see that.
a little tired today, Ron.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, so all the injectors are didn't feel correctly.
Really?
Not in a bad way, just tired.
Yeah. Change the signal, a lot of allergies out there, and that'll work.
That might be it.
All the documents and stuff, so that'll be good.
It is allergies.
It can whip you, I'm telling you, just.
Oh, I do.
Let me see.
Get all those too.
But you just don't know until you actually go and look at them.
What time go at? Is that what it is?
Oh, you are pretty close. This meeting is called to order. We'd all rise for the flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Approval of agenda. Today, we have 2 items on the agenda. One is to approve solid waste management plan and to consider bids for HVAC replacement at the health department and EMS offices. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Consent agenda minutes is provided for you in April 9th meeting. Accounts payable of $254,666.38. Hand checks of $444.49. Credit cards of $20,529.40. Utility payment of $10,413.20. Special checks for $1,500 and SD security for $4,800. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Commissioner comments, committee reports. And then we'll call it Lynn. Do you want to go first?
Next week, there's Military Affairs Council breakfast and General Roan over at Fort Riley is going to be the speaker. So I plan to attend that next Thursday morning. And then they have another event over there that General Roan is hosting Friday that I will attend. And then Central Kansas Mental Health, we have our board meeting coming up next Monday. So that's all I have. Thank you. Well, I'll just mention, I guess you'll probably get covered, but the Eisenhower Marathon is taking place. So everybody needs to be mindful of that. But, that's quite a boost economically to the county and city of Abilene. I know I visited with one of them that has a bed and breakfast, and I think it's one of the first times in the last few months that they've been full completely. And so I'm sure the hotels also are benefiting and such.
So,
And they had good weather. I think it's only supposed to be at 39 in the morning, which is perfect for marathons.
thank you, man. Rob?
I did spend most of the morning yesterday at the Dickinson Center in Junction City, and things are going quite well. We are seeing, though, those that are being admitted there, the youth, these crimes are not just little things now. They're pretty serious, pretty big deals. We've seen a lot of big change in that, and a big change in trying to recruit employees to do work like that is becoming a little harder. So we have to be a little careful of replacing people and getting people in there, or trying to get them in there way ahead of time before we need them, because it's very difficult. It seems like it's not a fun occupation evidently. And so that's been a little bit of a deal of discussion. But other than that, everything's good, and we're in business.
Thank you. This isn't a public meeting, but I will be attending the Republican Central Committee meeting just after this commission meeting. I also attended, and forgive me if I mentioned this last week, but I attended the EDC board meeting last week, full board meeting. I think I'm going to quit giving the update that things are going the right way, because I think we all realize that, and things are going the right way. I don't know any better way to say it, but we are considering looking at adding some board members. So
in the right direction.
Yeah, we're driving in the right direction. I could use the wrong term. But we are looking to we have some board open positions. We are considering applications. If that's something you're interested in, I would offer that out. We are looking in particular areas within the county. We want to try to have representation throughout the county, but just thought I'd mention that. Those are not set right now, so possibility there. That is all I have today. Thank you.
Do we need to mention, I guess the Republican women are having a meeting, is that next Monday? And so I know I plan to attend, and
Okay. Is anybody else?
they asked me if I would make comments, and I had mentioned that since there's elections coming up, probably elected officials that have elections maybe is a priority. So, but I don't know if Ron or Ken you plan to attend, but
I do. I was invited.
so make note of it on the.
I will be speaking. So, and I think Lynn will probably be there too.
Yeah, so it's not to discuss business, but they will. And I think usually there's other elected officials there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to that.
It's actually a pretty good event to go to, just if you want to hear from your elected officials. So
There might be 75 or 100 there
usually,
Quite a bit, yeah.
yeah, if you want to know what's,
or more.
hear from your elected officials, I'd invite you to that.
Before the elections, there may be more than usual.
I suspect.
Yeah.
All right, no petitions or proclamations today. We'll go ahead and move to a brief period of public comments. If County Administrator Giselle Dockendorf would read the rules, please.
For the Open Meetings Act, KSA 75-4317 and 75-4318A, as the elected board, the county commission is not allowed to meet or make any decisions without posting the meeting. They are only allowed to act on items on the agenda which they set. During the regular meeting, the county commission may allow for public comments on items not listed on the approved agenda. It is at the discretion of the county commission if they allow comments on agenda items. If you wish to provide comments, please come forward to the podium and state your name and address. If you are online, raise your hand and we will unmute you. Please state your name and address. Each person may speak for 3 minutes. The allotted time will start after the speaker has given his or her name and address. Public comments should be addressed to the county commission only and not to the speaker or the audience. Only the county commission will be permitted to ask the speaker questions. The public comment period is not a back and forth discussion with the county commission. You should make your views and input known to them, but it is not a time to ask them questions. You should not expect them to respond to your comments. Comments may express support or agreement with the previous speakers, but in the interest of time, please do not repeat the same information. You may state something to the effect of your name and address and you agree with the previous speaker. It is important to maintain a respectful, non-threatening atmosphere for anyone who would like to speak. Please do not engage in such actions as cheering, booing, clapping, insults, threats, etc.
Thank you. Any public comments? Okay, seeing none, I'll go ahead and move on. We'll go to reports from county officers. County Administrator Giselle Dockendorf.
Commissioners, we've got managers interviewing for the open positions that we currently have. That includes in dispatch, the appraiser, and EMS. This is National Telecommunicator Week, so a shout out and a thank you to our emergency communications staff. They're working very hard. Public Works is spraying in Lyon Township. That'll be the 4th township that they're working on. They're placing rock at the intersections on 1700 Avenue west of K15. And they're also out Durapatching on Oak Road, D Street, and 500 Avenue. So they're doing some work out there on our roads. L&M, which is the contractor that's working on the bridge at 1160. Sorry, I have too many ones in there. 1100 Avenue. They are pre-drilling for the pilings, so they're moving forward in that. Martin and I did visit with KDOT about a traffic study at Mink Road and Highway 43. So the district area engineer said that he would move it up the chain. That's how it has to process. So we've made the request and we'll see what they end up doing. So the community sheltering class will be held tonight at 6 p.m. here in the courthouse basement meeting room. And there is a planning and zoning board meeting tonight as well at 7 p.m. and that will be held here in the commission chamber. As you noted, the Eisenhower Marathon is Saturday, and we do have quite a few staff that will be involved in that. All of the Public Works Department, EMS, Emergency Management, and his CERT team will be involved with that. And the sheriff had mentioned he was going to be there as well. We're also going to have the Abilene High School Life Skills class touring the courthouse offices next week. That will involve district court, the county clerk, county treasurer, the sheriff, and myself with that on Wednesday. And then KDOT, and we just found this out yesterday. We'll start work on the bridge on K15 just north of K18, and they start on Monday. So that will go down to 1 lane, but then also there'll be traffic diverted to county roads. So just so you're aware of that. So do you have any questions for me?
So if you're going north on 15, you can go through industry and across and have an all-weather road.
Yes, yeah. So, yeah, I'm a little disappointed we didn't get notice sooner, but they're starting Monday, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Ron?
I'm good.
Thank you. Moving down to notices and communications, County Clerk Jennifer Gaten.
Like Janelle mentioned, tonight, April 16th, 2026 at 7 PM, the Dickinson County Courthouse Main Commission Chambers, the Dickinson County Planning Commission will hold a public hearing to consider the following CUP 2603 to allow expansion of a bed and breakfast approved originally under 2207 to be located on a parcel of land, Section 8, Township 13, Range 3, commonly known as 2321 West Detroit Street at the request of Gary, Shuley. This hearing is open to the public for comment on the agenda items presented, and the application and legal description are available for public viewing at the County Courthouse Zoning Administrator's Office at 109 East First Street. That's all I have.
Thank you. Moving down to the agenda items for this week. First is to approve the solid waste management plan. Janelle, you want to?
So this was reviewed with you last week. This is a 5-year plan that we have to review. It's made up, we have a committee that takes a look at that, and the committee is made up of representatives from the second-class cities, third-class cities. We happen to have a township trustee also that is on the board, and then an open position. So nothing really has changed much, but we do update, the facility information that we have in here, what can be accepted, what cannot be accepted. So this is somewhat of a housekeeping matter that we have to follow, but we're asking that you go ahead and approve the motion that will be submitted to the state. There's a resolution that's on the backside of this that will have to be signed by the 3 of you and attested by Jennifer and signed by the Public Works Director as well. So I don't know if you have any questions for me on that.
Yeah. How do they get the population?
That was from,
Higher than what I thought it was.
what does she have it at? Let me find the right.
18,810.
So
I'm just curious.
no, she would have gone onto the US Census and
Okay.
pulled that out. So, because yes, it is higher, about 200 higher than what I was thinking we had to. So, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I don't. That was.
Okay.
Figured that out. I reviewed it. I know we talked about it last week. Is there anything you guys want to know, commissioners?
I'm good. I'd make the motion that we approve the solid waste management plan for 2026.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Did you sign that, bro?
I didn't believe it. Yeah, I saw it.
Sorry.
We'll make sure. Thank you.
All right, considerations, bids for HVAC replacement at health department and EMS offices. If anybody's curious, we discussed this in study today. Open it up. Yes, sure. I guess I'll start. We had a quote from KVK and with now. There are different units. The prices are different. They both achieve the same end. They both provide HVAC to the EMS and health department. They are a little bit different in terms of the warranties. The warranties are a bit longer for KVK than they are with now. Trying to be open with that. The bids are about a $4,000 difference. I'll go ahead and give my opinion. I'm not officially motioning, but what I would prefer is to accept with now heating and air's bid of $7,473.20. I'm going to open it up discussion from there. Hearing none, do we have a motion? I'll go ahead and motion. I'll motion to accept with now heating and air bid for $7,473.20 to replace the HVAC system of the health department and EMS offices.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. You will let us know.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's fine though. Yeah.
You might make
mentioned we had that discussion on the election system software and
Absolutely.
do that at a future meeting.
Absolutely. We have till May 10th to come up with a decision on this. We are going to push, not do it this week. Don't know how you guys feel about next week, but I think we can handle that through agenda setting. But yes, we're going to hear this at a later time. I believe the total bid amount for this year would be $27,650.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you gotta add the,
Add the other one there
Yeah.
too. Okay. Let's say $1,420 annual licensing. But like we said, I don't think we're gonna hear this right now. So we will bring this up at a later time. This is to implement a more digitized version of the polling at the polling stations. Not a more digitized.
to complete it.
There
We
you go.
already have some.
Anything else? you want to-
So it is kind of a plan because it is in the budget as far as a fund and
We've been planning it. It's been ongoing since 24, like I said.
We will bring that up for discussion at a later meeting. Any other notes, comments, or anything you'd like to say, commissioners?
We could use some rain.
Yes, we could.
right up fast.
About 700 a week ago, but keep that going every week. That'd be great. Hearing none, I'd motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Adjourn. Thank you, everybody. Sign back there.
Okay,
I don't know if you need that or not, but
please, thank you.
They're still sending you the stuff for the detention center, so you get that information.
Angela,
And your
doing that.
funding stuff, you've been watching that closely, right?